Headphones on, the whispers begin.
For years, I thought fear was something confined to the realm of imagination. Suspenseful movie scenes, spine-chilling TV shows, or campfire tales shared under a starry sky. I'd always believed it was possible for fear to seep into reality, but it had never touched me directly, not until that night. It happened a few years ago, but I can recount it with unnerving clarity. The memory doesn't fade, not even in the daylight. It was late, a time when the house usually fell into a comfortable hush. I'd just finished a conversation with my parents in the living room. As I walked back to my room, I navigated the L-shaped hallway that connected our spaces. My room was situated at the corner where the two halls met. The house was familiar, its every creak and shadow ingrained in my mind. Yet that night, it didn't feel like home. I'd barely stepped into the second hallway when I heard it. A voice, clear and intimate, whispering my name. "James!" The sound brushed against my right ear, close enough that I could almost feel the warmth of breath on my skin. I froze mid-step, my pulse suddenly thundering in my ears. Turning my head, I scanned the empty hallway behind me. The soft glow of the nightlight near the bathroom cast long, reaching shadows, but there was nothing else. Forcing a shaky breath, I reasoned with myself. It had to be someone in the house. My siblings? But their doors were closed, and I'd seen the soft rise and fall of their chests when I checked on them earlier. My mom? She was in her room, the faint sound of a page turning audible when I passed by. Still, I called out, my voice cracking under the weight of unease. "Hello? Who's there?" The silence that followed was suffocating. I backed away, pressing my spine against the wall to steady myself. I strained to hear something, anything, but the house seemed to hold its breath. Then, as I stood there, the thought hit me like ice down my back. The voice had been unfamiliar. It was high-pitched, soft, and unmistakably that of a young girl. There were no young girls in our house. There had never been. A shiver coursed through me, and I bolted to my room, slamming the door shut behind me. My heart raced as I leaned against it, scanning the dimly lit space. Everything looked normal. My unmade bed, the desk cluttered with papers, the faint hum of my laptop. But the sense of being watched was overwhelming. The hours that followed were restless. Every noise, a floorboard creaking, the wind brushing against the window, made me jump. I tried to rationalize what I'd heard. Maybe it was a trick of the mind, a figment of my imagination conjured by exhaustion. Or maybe it wasn't. The next morning, I avoided the hallway as much as I could, taking the long route through the kitchen to reach other parts of the house. My family noticed my unease, but I brushed off their concerns. How could I explain what I didn't even understand myself? Days passed, then weeks, and the incident began to feel distant, like a bad dream. I convinced myself it was nothing more than a fleeting moment of paranoia, until last week. I was reorganizing some old boxes in the attic, a task I'd been putting off for years. The attic was cluttered with forgotten keepsakes, dusty books, and cardboard boxes labeled with my mother's neat handwriting. As I sifted through the mess, I came across a small, unmarked wooden box. Curious, I pried it open. Inside, there was a stack of Polaroid photos, faded with age. The first few were of my parents when they were younger, their smiles wide and carefree. Then, I came across a photo that made my breath catch. It was a little girl, no older than 10, standing in the very hallway where I'd heard the whisper. Her dark eyes stared directly into the camera, her expression blank. The back of the photo was dated 1983, long before we moved into this house. A chill ran through me as I flipped through more photos, all featuring the same girl in different parts of the house. The last photo, however, was different. It was taken in my room. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, her head slightly tilted, as though listening to something just outside the frame. I shoved the box back into the pile and left the attic in a hurry, my heart pounding. That night, I locked my door. but sleep didn't come. Now, every creak in the hallway feels louder, every shadow longer. I haven't told anyone about the photos. I haven't even gone back to check if they're still there. But sometimes, late at night, I swear I hear faint footsteps just outside my door. And occasionally, when it's very quiet, I think I hear my name again, whispered. This time, though, I don't turn around. Would you like to hear more creepy tales? Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any stories. Here I leave you a story that will scare you. Listen to it if you dare.